was Peyton's final appearance in his legendary. We're giving Peyton the Lombardi season for them is a success no matter what happens. And yes, the last time they were in the postseason, we were giving Peyton the Lombardi Trophy, February 7th, 2016. I'll never forget it. The Golden Game, the 50th Super Bowl. Von Miller was the MVP that day. That was Peyton's final appearance in his legendary career. But this team this year, when you've got Sean Payton calling plays, you know it's going to be, there's going to be some exciting stuff. He's got his quarterback. There's no question he feels like he's found his Drew Brees. But what I really like about this team, too, is their defense. You look at the 29 touchdown passes by Bo Nix, second best of all time. He had 4 on Sunday against Kansas City. But this defense, other than Pat Surtain, most people can't name 1 or 2 other guys on the defense. They led the league in sacks this year. It's going to be a neat little matchup inside of the game. Is the best sack team in the league against the team that gave up the fewest sacks. And they're hungry. They're young, and they play together cohesively like every coach would dream of.
What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome back to another episode of, First and 10 with Through the Bronco, and I'm Through the Bronco. Excuse me, throat itches here. Take you to Sean Payton's and final the players' final press conference before they go off to Buffalo. And that was today. Just bear with me 1 second, and I will bring it to y'all. Okie dokie. There we go.
Get in tonight, meet in the morning, walk through that kind of, final reminders, and then get ready to go. Any questions? I would only say past experience, history. Look, there's several things that even in last year's regular season. Take any of our games we played this year, the momentum pendulum is going to swing back and forth. Yeah, but I think the exposure and the experience of these past 17 weeks. Yeah, outstanding. Look, and the Pro Bowl's one thing. I get it. A lot of different people vote. This all pro and anybody who votes on, for instance, the Hall of Fame. Remember, it's one team, AFC, NFC, and so that's a tremendous honor for those guys, and proud of all of them. Our team was excited for all of them, and yeah, much deserved. Surface, yeah. I mean, we've had good outside practices. And for us, just getting on the field turf and moving around, but it was good. I think, look, all right, the long end of it, there's certain type of fronts you get that maybe are more conducive to that. And so, off Yeah, there's juice, there's vision, there's he's played good football, and there's been a spark. So he's doing well. He's doing well. He's got good contact balance for his size. Just all of it. Here's when you're in it, and I'm not even talking about the playoffs. And the season begins every hour. As soon as I finish here, like everything matters, and there's so many things that it's amazing. It seemed like yesterday we were starting the season, so the weeks fly by, but the, the details, everything matters. And then all of a sudden, when you're away from it, man, there's that void of. There are a few things that matter once, that, and so look, there's nothing like it. It's enjoyable. I think working with young people, they seem younger now, but working with young people keeps you young and keeps you energized, and working with a family. We're around these guys 24/7. Last night 2 in the morning with the coaches, on offense. So it's just it's exciting to be still playing. No, I think, look, listen, last week was a big game, to get, in other words, you got to get your experience, and here's the most important thing: get on to the next play. In other words, don't let one play fester. Get on to the next play. Get on to the next play, and so recalibrate and have the mental fortitude to handle the noise and handle the elements and handle all the things about playing a real good team on the road. And yeah, it's a great challenge. Yeah, it's interesting because it can go two ways. I remember once I was in Dallas and we were getting ready to play. At that time, the Chiefs had Trent Green, and they had Gonzalez. They had the number one offense in football. They had returner. They had a bunch of guys that could run, and I don't know. They were scoring 30, 28 points a game. And so, as a coaching staff, we met on Wednesday, and I'll never forget, said, "Boys, we're going to do the opposite of what you think." He said, "Now, we're going to throw caution into the wind, and there's risk with this, but we're going to outscore them." And our jaws dropped. In other words, I don't know what we were scoring, but what. And sure enough, this thing got into a shootout, and we hit Dan Campbell on a pop pass. 38 seconds left in the game. They had a chance at a field goal in the rain, but it was a high scoring game. So I think as a play caller, what I do pay attention to is how is this game unfolding? How's it unfolding? How are we playing defensively can impact how I'm calling the game on offense. And then conversely, communicate with them. In other words, we played games this year I thought would have gone a certain way, and then holy cow, they went a different way. And so I think you got to pay attention to how it's unfolding.
on to the next. I think the next one will be Quinminus. Okay, yeah, that's
Kind
Quinn.
of when that comes out, that kind of is the true ranking of where people are at, and to be named the number one ranked guard is it's incredible. I have set out on these types of lofty goals, kind of going all the way back to rookie year. Um, some days not completely convinced myself if that is a attainable goal. So, on an individual perspective, I'm proud of myself. These things don't happen by accident. This is, hard work works, and I've had a really good season, and I'm, kind of looking to just keep getting better. Yeah, so like I was kind of saying in another interview, fortunately, I don't have a lot of time to really think about it because we're getting ready to get on a flight today to go to Buffalo. I celebrated last night. Had a milkshake, a cheeseburger, and then it's on to the next thing. Uh, it's an honor, and I think when you look at this team, we have a ton of talent that is also up there. Being able to play with a great right tackle and a great center like Luke, that also allows me to play my best. And so I want to make sure I give my shout out to the rest of the guys in the whole line because um, I can firmly say that I think we're the best offensive line in football this year, and I think we played really well together in all phases. And I don't think it's possible for me to be first team without them being, as great players as they've been as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think um, there's been a handful of people that have been believers, and this organization has been a part of that team of believers from the beginning, and to continuously have that support and to have my back, whether it be different head coaches, different offensive line coaches, different ownership, all this stuff that's been kind of inconsistent in the organization. I've still had support um, throughout all of it, and we can't thank them enough. Yeah, I think my draft class and us around kind of have a little swag to us because we've been through some things, and we've kind of talked from the beginning of wanting to kind of turn this thing around and to see the turning around process. With Coop and Javante and Pat, just to name a handful of them. For us to get contracts together, most of us, and to be here, see through it, grind through it, be through the go through the hard times, go through the fun times, and all that stuff has been great, and I'm proud of our group and our draft class. 100%, especially going on the road. That's the biggest thing when you're going on the road, and I think uh, being able to have each other's back. When things are going right on offense, maybe wrong on defense, and vice versa. It's a total team effort, um, and when we're all working together, we've been capable of doing great things. It really just kind of took time, um, and having personal conversations, not only with like Coach conversations with people, other people in my circle, my dad, my wife, and having those types of conversations and hearing their kind of thoughts and opinions on how I should move forward and kind of release some of that pressure from myself. I think it just, as the week and as the season and as more time of me being in those roles as one of the top paid and the captain and whatever, and dealing with that stress, it just took time. And I work with a mental performance coach. He helped me kind of put those things in boxes and to think about them differently. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and it definitely did affect my play early in the season. But I'm proud of myself for how I handled that moving forward after those kind of first couple weeks. First day of pads. I mean, DJ is like almost impossible to move in the run game. JFM has a great pass rush. Zach Allen, I mean, the way he can time up the snap, like he was just making us frustrated every single day. He's got a great pass rush as well. I mean, you got Coop and like there's so many like layers to our defense that made training camp difficult every single day, and that like when we're strapping up our pads and stuff, it's like, all right, this is going to be a long 2.5 hours during team today. That it was a grind for both of us. So it's a lot of fun being able to compete against some of those players because it only brings your best out, and I feel like we do the same thing for them. Thank you guys.
Okay, I think it's one more. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Okay, yeah. This is Zach Allen.
Great players, it definitely helps too. So we got 5 guys. So it's really cool for kind of the country starting to recognize what we're doing here, building something special. So hopefully we can just keep it going to the playoffs. Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of we when we found out, kind of talked about it. It's kind of nuts, kind of thinking just the journey it's been. So it's been really cool, and I have the best support system in the world with my family, team, everything like that. So it's a really special moment, and it's cool that we're still playing football too. So hopefully we just keep the season going, and yeah, we can celebrate it more when everything's over. Yeah, no, I mean it's yeah, the whole defense across the board's been awesome, and we got guys at every level kind of taking care of business right now, which is pretty cool and pretty special. And yeah, I mean I think it really is just the beginning, and yeah, we're like everyone was saying, we're young and we're able to do this. We just got to keep it going. Yeah, no, I mean, I pride myself a lot on my off season, making sure my body's right, just need be, and um, every game I think is really important. We saw this year, kind of how close it came to playoffs versus not playoffs. So, I want to be out there, for every down and help out, and if I'm playing good ball in the fourth quarter, that's a good sign. And I tell them, if you think I look tired, take me out, but we keep going. So. There's been discussions about like trying to be smart with it because it is so much, but yeah, I mean it's weird. Like I said, the team here between the strength staff, training staff, and my own people, like we just every week I feel great. It's crazy to think it's week 19, and I'm still feeling really good. So credit to them, Bo and his team, and Dan and his team have done a tremendous job. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's sometimes you're not always going to get there. There's a lot of different variables that they're stack. You know, the coverage has to be right. You know, everybody has to be rushing together so the quarterback can't spit. And then there's just quarterbacks in this league, like the one we're playing this weekend, who, no matter how good your rush is, they'll find a way just to run around. So it's definitely you just try to affect the game any way you can, and this week's definitely going to be probably our biggest challenge doing that. So we're excited for it.
What did you see this line? Obviously, a line in camp and practice, offensive line. What does Quinn think that's unique among interior guys?
Yeah, no, we were just talking about it. It's like training camp's the hardest thing because you got Quinn, you got Ben, like guys like that. I mean, I really stand by. I think they're the best two guards in football by far. It's not even close. Like when I have a fan block from Quinn, he's the only guy in the league where it's like, I don't need to focus on this because usually you just kind of can go through the motions. With him, you can. So, no, they definitely get us ready. You go 5-6 weeks with them. That's why I think defensively we're able to kind of start hot. You just kind of get on a roll, because everything kind of feels a lot easier. So, yeah, no, definitely fortunate he's on my side. I don't have to go against him twice a year or something like that.
Guys who's had that kind of career sound-wise, going down. What has he kind of done for the defensive front of this punch?
Yeah, the only reason why we're able to pass rush is because he keeps shutting down first, second down. So DJ's been huge for us, and he can pass. Like you watched that Chargers game we just had. He was our best pass rusher on the field that night. He does some really special stuff. So, it's been awesome playing with him. Yeah, he's one of my favorite teammates. A great energy guy, but his play, I think you turn on the tape. Every team wants a guy like that. So, it's been a lot of fun playing with him.
A couple more guys on the exact 14 factors. What is the key to
Yeah, I mean, obviously the sacks would be really nice, and but like last year we played, we had 0 sacks, and we still had some good pressure. If he's just throwing it out of bounds, then we do our job. It might not be the prettiest or the sexiest thing, but it gets the job done. So, but no, he's a hell of a competitor, and the line they've done a hell of a job. Just watching the film, there's not a lot of games, and they've played some good D lines where there's not a lot of tape of them getting beat out there. So it's kind of hard coming up with like a pass rush plan. So. Give them credit. They've invested a lot in it. They're obviously, gelling together, and Josh, is such a good athlete. So it's going to be a challenge, but we're really excited for it. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, that's it. That's all for that. The whole world is counting the Broncos out in this game against the Buffalo Bills. They're the only ones that thinking that they could go in there and pull off the upset. In order for them to pull off the upset, the Broncos gonna have to play a damn near perfect game. Bo Nix Sean Payton need to call some quick slants. You don't have to always go down the field because that's where their defense likes to play, down the field. They like to keep everything underneath. The run game is going to be important, but you got to bait that defense by throwing some quick slants to Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Devon Ray, and even Troy Franklin. Jaleel McLaughlin, hopefully he should have a decent game. Hopefully we can see more Audric Esme. Javonte is good in pass pro, and he also could catch the ball. Hopefully the Broncos use their tight ends more in this game because it's probably going to be a necessity over the middle throwing to your tight end, Adam Troutman, Lucas Krull, Nate Atkins. get them involved early on. The Broncos are going to need all hands on deck to go up in Buffalo, where it's supposed to be 20 degrees. And you know, in Buffalo, when it's 20 degrees, it's actually colder than that. I'm a New Yorker, but right now I live in North Carolina. So I know. And yeah, the Broncos beat the Buffalo Bills last year with Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton has a coaching edge over Sean McDermott. Sean Payton is an offensive minded coach. Sean McDermott is a defensive minded head coach. But we just got to see everything clicking on all cylinders. Take care of the ball. Hopefully, take away the ball and get some takeaways. Hopefully, the defense is able to pressure Josh Allen if they can't get no sacks, because pressure is just as good, because you're still going to get him off a spot. But that's tricky because you can pressure him, and if he sees a hole, he's going to take that and run. So it's also going to be good for the Broncos just to keep a spy on Josh Allen. Sean Payton knows Joe Brady, the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, and he also knows Sean McDermott well. So let's just see what's going to happen. The Broncos want to keep their season going. Fans want them to go up in Buffalo and get the win so they keep their season going. Because, see, if Buffalo wins, they play the Ravens, right? If Denver wins, we play Kansas City in Kansas City. And that's kind of a more favorable matchup because Kansas City know that that the Broncos are no longer a walkover. I'm gonna be dialed in, be tuned up. I'm ready. And they said the Broncos was only gonna win. They was projected to win 5.5 wins, 5 wins, maybe 4. They love being underdogs. They thrive off of proving people wrong. Sean Payton said young and hungry can be dangerous. And it's a lot of, naive could be a good thing. Broncos being naive could be a good thing because they don't know they don't know that they're not supposed to win this game. And I'm predicting an upset. 28-24, Broncos win. Let's go Broncos.